Ambassador, thanks very much indeed for joining me in the program. For starters, China's new leadership made their debut last year, and the coming two sessions meetings will mark another milestone in China's political society. So how do you think this power transition will affect the future of China?
Well, I think this is a really exciting time, and to be an ambassador in China during the transition from one government to another and party leadership to another is really exciting. I think it's one can expect changes, and it is necessary for the Chinese leadership to continue guiding the Chinese population and the Chinese economy through to the future. There are many challenges, so of course I, like everyone else, tie my hopes to constructive changes, to constructive development, because it doesn't only affect China, but the rest of the world as well.
In this year's NPC and CPPCC meetings, a lot of issues will be addressed, of course, and some of the heated discussions include anti-corruption, education reform, and house pricing reform, and even government organization reform. So, Ambassador, which of the specific areas are most of interest to you?
They are, in fact, all of interest, but if I were to name one, then probably I would say structural changes, government structural changes, and the reorganization of some of the organs of the party and the state. Well, transparency of government is a very important thing in my mind. And as an example, I can tell you that yesterday the Minister of Interior from Iceland was here visiting and had meetings with SAIC, State Administration for Industry and Commerce, where he explained, and both explained, their system for consumer protection and measures that have been taken in that respect. He, for example, explained new changes in Iceland, where all issues that regard consumers are now under the umbrella of the Ministry of Interior, and consumer issues are no longer part of what the Ministry of Industry deals with. So there are changes that we can learn from one another, and there need to be constant re-evaluation where consumer issues, citizen issues, transparency, progress where that is directed towards more equilibrium are taken.
Since when you have arrived in China actually before the Expo in 2010, and you'll be finishing your term here at the end of the summer, right?
Yeah.
So can you just sum up a little bit like about your experience here, or just basically how is the Sino-Iceland relations going on during your post here in China?
These are two different questions. This is about my observations in China since I arrived here as an ambassador.
Yes.
And then secondly, it is about the relations of Iceland and China.
Yes.
Both have been very, very positive. I think it has been a privilege to be an ambassador in China in the last 3.5 years. We have seen changes happen very, very fast, even if you describe them as quite slow and lengthy. For an outsider, we see changes wherever we go. When I arrived, there were news perhaps once a week or something in that direction about foreign government leaders coming to China. We see that every day now. And I think we can say that China has regained its status as the Middle Kingdom, or the Middle State, Zhongguo. As regards the relations between Iceland and China, we have reached the momentum this year when Premier Wen Jiabao officially visited Iceland in April. Our relations have been growing steadily in recent years, and we are now on the final stage of negotiating a free trade agreement. So in all stages or in all fields, there has been growth and better relations. I could also name geothermal cooperation. There is an understanding of both countries that is where Iceland has an added value. So we are cooperating, Icelandic partners are cooperating with Chinese partners, and on the harnessing of geothermal, which is a very, very important step, I think, and necessary for China, that is becoming urbanized very, very fast. And we have experienced the smog in recent days. Of course, when people go into the cities by millions, and everyone has to be provided with some kind, or use energy, it can't be based on coal and oil because of the pollutant those carry. So geothermal is one of the resources that Iceland is blessed with. We have been educating through the UN geothermal training program up to 100 experts in China, and this is where I think we could say the cornerstone of the cooperation lies. It's at least one of the pillars.
Ambassador, thanks very much indeed for joining me in the program. Thanks.
My pleasure. Good luck to you.